Hi all, so welcome back to this channel, and in this video session I'll be discussing how to retrieve stream file statistics information, or we can say the information about a stream file using the cstat API. So stat function is basically used, which is available in C, and we can call that function in RPGLE program, and we can get the information about a stream file, that what its size, who is accessing, and all other informations uh, related to that file. So the prototype for that stat function in C programming is this. So int stat const char path construct stat buffer. So this is a stat function which returns an integer value, whether 0 or -1. -1 means error, or 0 means it's successful. And the first thing is the IFS path, which we need to pass as an input parameter to this API. And then the second parameter is the output parameter for us, which basically return from this function. So this structure will, or you can say DS, will give me all the information about the file stream file present on the IFS. So let's move towards the demo. So here is the prototype for that stat function in C. So we'll be calling this stat procedure using the extprop keyword. So we'll give the name same as the stat here, and it will return an integer value 10i0. And the second two things are either so its IFS path and the stat ds. So this is the data structure which gets returned by the stat API, and this is the IFS path which we need to provide. So either it's a pointer or it's a string that's in the form of C, that is terminated by null string. So another two APIs which are common for error handling, which I used, is error no or strerr, which returns a error number and a pointer to the error number and the uh, error message corresponding to that error number. Then we have some variables like IFS path. Return underscore stat is basically returned from the stat, error pointer, error number. So this is going to be for this APIs. So this will return the pointer, and the number would be based upon that pointer, and this is going to return a message, and that message depend upon that pointer, as you can see. Now the second thing here is the stat ds. So this is the stat ds, that's not having all the fields, so you can refer from IBM website for other fields too, but most of the fields are covered here in that stat ds, like file mode, file id, number of links. This is the reserve field, user id of owner file, group id of group file. So regular files, size of the file, time underscore access, time underscore change, time underscore status change, file size id, block size, allocated size, object type, code page, css id, reserve one, generation id. So all these statistics information corresponding to that stream file on the IFS will get returned from this API in the form of a DS. So from here I pass the IFS path like this to this API as the first input parameter, and then we'll pass the stat ds. So then, since you can see, it will take input as the pointer, so we'll be passing the address of a stat ds. So it will populate the related fields of the ds on that address, so we can refer from there. So if return underscore stat is less than 0, means return underscore stat, which is returned from here, means some error, then we'll be calling error this function, which will return me an error number and to the pointer to the error number, and then that error number will get passed to this strerr, which will return me the pointer to the error message. And that's all the whole code is. So let's see the demo. Let's call this. Before that, let's compile this. Just take option standard, star source. So this program is compiled successfully. Let's debug this. Set the breakpoint and call this API. So this is the IFS path walk link. So this file exists. So before calling this function, you can see this structure, that is this ds is not initialized even, and it has some garbage data right now. So once we call this API, stat API, just take F10, we will see that this struct ds is now populated with the values. So we have all these things populated here. So here you can see the size of this stat ds, the size is this, and other information like HTML, the code page, CSS ID, and all those things you can see. And so these are the information which you get in form of a ds regarding the stream file, and we'll see whether its return status is less than 0. So it's not 0, so we'll not call this error function. So let's say let's say just call this again and make this IFS, how it's called, just take F10 and change this file. Let's call this. So you'll see the error return status is -1, which means some error, and it will return me an error number 3025, and then will return me a message pointer. So error underscore message will be the text. No such path or directory exists. So this means that this is the wrong path, not wrong file provided to this API. So that's why we are getting this error. So this way you can see how we will be getting the errors using the stat API, and how we will be successfully calling this API. So this API is very useful when you want any specific data regarding the stream file, that who accessed when, who accessed last, who changed last, what is the size of the IFS stream file, uh, and other informations as well, like block size, uh, object type, whether it's a directory or HTML file. So all this information you can get from here. So this is a very useful API which one must know. So that's all in this video. Thank you. And